listening to Your Business Matters with attorney Pallavi Ahluwalia. Call in with your questions at 972-235-5555. That's 972-235-5555. Or email pallavi@yourdesilawyer.com. Call now to get a second opinion on your current case. Ms. Ahluwalia received her law degree over 18 years ago, and her office handles cases involving immigration law, family law, business law, contract law, and civil litigation. Call 972-235-5555. That's 972-235-5555. Or email pallavi@yourdesilawyer.com. Questions for the program Your Business Matters with Pallavi Ahluwalia can be in English, Hindi, or Urdu. If you prefer an in-person consultation, call 972-361-0606. Remember to turn off your radio when calling.
All right, so you are tuned into Phonesia Radio 104.9 FM. This is Your Business Matters with Pallavi Ahluwalia from Ahluwalia Law Offices. And the number in the studio, 972-235-5555. So if you have any question related to employment, family-based immigration matters, family law, corporate law, or civil matters, now is the time to get in touch with Pallavi. And beyond the show, if you want to seek a private consultation, you do need to call their front desk manager at 972-361-0606. Once again, 972-361-0606. AhluwaliaLaw.com is the website to go and find out more about Ahluwalia Law Offices. Right now, do want to welcome Pallavi on the airwaves of Phonesia Radio 104.9 FM. A very good morning to you, Pallavi. How are you?
A very good morning to you, Meetu. Doing very well. Glad to be part of your morning this Wednesday morning with Your Business Matters. And we're here every Wednesday to be able to answer questions for the community. And we know that we have a very involved community who wants to know a lot of information and those are a lot of questions that they have for themselves or for their friends, and we welcome them here. I think I see all the lines already lit up, so we can start taking calls.
Let's do that. Going to our first caller, Phonesia Radio, you're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Okay, I have a question. I'm a U.S. citizen, and I acquired my citizenship in 2003. I'm from Indian origin. Now, I'm trying to get the visa to go to India, and they are, I'm going to the TKGS website, and they are asking me that without renegotiation, I cannot get the visa. Now, I don't have my NETLA certification with me because it was lost and I applied for the new one. It takes about 8 months to get it. Is there any way I can get the visa to go to India?
Yeah, so you have to, what I'll have to tell you here is that this is not the immigration law as in the American immigration law. We're talking about Indian laws, right? And when we're talking about Indian laws, then we have to go per the rules of what India has out there for seeking a visa. Now, I do know that the basic requirement is to be able to either do a renunciation certificate or to be able to give them proof when you convert it to be a U.S. citizen. You may ask them for alternate documents, but I don't think I may be able to give you suggestions because those suggestions have to come from the Indian consulate. So it has to come from India.
Right. But see, my only one question was, I am a U.S. citizen. I have a U.S. passport.
Correct.
I don't even have an Indian passport.
You can so for the certificate of citizenship, if you want another one, the certificate of naturalization, you can apply for another one of those.
No, I did, but it will take 8 months to get it.
That's the tough part. That is the tough part of that.
I don't understand why Indian embassy made so hard to get the visa, and India is asking to invest in India. You can't even get the visa. How are you going to invest money there?
Correct. Yes, a good rhetorical question for which we have no answers. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you for your call. 972-235-5555. That's the number in the studio. All right, going to our next caller, Phonesia Radio. You're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, this is Jyoti, and I was wondering, I just lost my passport, so I was wondering if I go back excuse me, if I go back to India, am I eligible for Dropbox or should I actually go for an interview?
So the condition of the Dropbox as to no change in the information has to happen. So losing the passport means first you have to get one here to be able to travel, right? So you'll have to...
Yes, I have my passport, new passport.
You do have a new passport? Okay, so the Dropbox conditions include no major changes in your information, right?
All of those conditions are met, except I don't have this passport in which the first stamp is.
Yeah, so that may be an issue and they may require an interview, but I mean, the only thing that you may have to see is whether the consulate there, so which consulate are you applying to?
Hyderabad.
In Hyderabad, okay. So you'll just have to see if the consulate meets that requirement. In my opinion, the change in passport may be considered a major change for which they may need, because they will not be able to authenticate the visa on the second passport if it's not being submitted, right? So the passport information that they're going to be able to pull out may not be the same. So that may require a visit to the consulate. But if you want to still apply for the Dropbox, do it and let them tell you that you are eligible for an interview instead of the Dropbox adjudication.
If I do that, I'm worried that my stay in India will be 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and if they request an interview and I don't have any slots available, will they accommodate me, or how does that go about it?
Yeah, so whether it is that it takes a bit longer is going to be visible when you submit your DS forms. Right? So when you are submitting your forms is when the visibility on what's available out there may come out to you anyway. So basically, if you are not choosing the Dropbox mode and you're going only for that, so you'll be able to see whether it is going to be able to accommodate you in 2 weeks or not.
Right now, it doesn't look like it is going to be able to accommodate me. That's why I'm a bit worried to apply for Dropbox, or even to I don't have a choice to take book a slot for an interview either.
Okay, I understand what your concerns are.
Yeah. Sorry
At
about
this
that.
point,
I have a quick other question as well. So I switched jobs. I'm with the same employer. My client is changed, which means I moved from one county to another county in the same MSA. Do I need to apply for a H1 amendment?
So the only exception to not being okay not to amend is the fact that if you were to move within the same MSA. So if you've moved within the same MSA, then you are not required to amend. But here is a little bit of an exception that I see that Department of State uses. On the Department of State, when they are processing your visa, they are looking for the date or the correct address on the I-129 form. So even if you are subject to an exception, which means that you do not have to file an amendment for the sake of the new rule that the US CIS announced last year in May, the Department of State, which is the consulate, may have a different interpretation of it. So just to be on the safe side, if you amend it and put that on the I-129 petition, that may be more useful rather than going through a little bit of a processing or getting stuck at the consulate.
That sounds good as well. But legally, I'm not required if I'm
not for USCIS. Yes, for USCIS purposes, if you're staying here, not going for visa stamping, you're just fine. Okay, when you're going for visa stamping, I'd be a little more cautious.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for letting me know.
All the best, Jyoti.
Thank you so much. 972-235-5555 is the number in the studio. This is Your Business Matters with Pallavi Ahluwalia from Ahluwalia Law Offices. And to get in touch for private consultation, you might want to call their front desk manager at 972-361-0606. ahluwalialaw.com is their website. Fanisha Reedley, you're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Yeah, actually I lost my passport and applied for a new passport recently, and I got that passport, and actually I had a valid stamp on that. I just want to check what is my procedure I need to follow to make sure that I can travel to India back and forth. So if I go there, is it a Dropbox or is it drop-off, or is it a interview? What should I take up?
Yeah, so we had exactly the same question from the past caller, and what we were that's what we were saying. Now, when you're looking at the Dropbox submission requirements, it says your current passport, right, your current or most recent visa, and copy of the Dropbox letter. So these are the requirements that you have to have with you when you're going for that Dropbox visa processing. Now, if you were to get both those passports maybe together, it's possible that Dropbox may may continue and process you without the visa interview. Now, my concern is that if it's only one passport that you're submitting, and that may be the latest one, then the Department of State, which is the consulate, does not have that information available on you, and that may require them to interview you. So I think, and this would be to you as well as maybe to the past caller who hopefully is still listening to us, that you all could try it that way and see if that would create that excuse for you to be eligible for Dropbox processing.
Okay, and one more quick question regarding the green card processing.
Go ahead.
I'm with the current employer right now on a consulting basis, and I applied when we are going through the labor phase, and the current labor is in Feb 2016, and my application is in Feb 2016 of this year as well. So, but I got a full-time offer. I'm trying to switch to a full-time company. It will be starting tentatively around July 3rd week or July 2nd week, sorry. But I just want to check a quick question that if my labor is approved and I'm a file for I-140 premium and I joined the new company, and is my 140 still valid if I talk to my current employer to keep that hold without I-140 approval, or you think that will not be a case, or it's a waste of time on spending on I-140?
Okay, so it depends on what the employer's policy is. If the employer keeps it open, and that is with the intention that you will return to them when it's time for you to process your green card or file your adjustment, then yes, the employer can hold that open for a while. Now, the second requirement that I'm seeing that's come out from a new announcement in the regulations, which still not been finalized, this was announced end of December with final comments due at the end of February, and that announcement was that if your I-140 has been approved for 180 days, then even if the employer were to withdraw it after 180 days, that date will belong to you, and it can also be used for your transfers or extensions on your H-1B based on AC 21-104C. So that would be the interpretation of the government that is getting formalized right now. Now, on the conversation with employer A, who has this date for you, I would say you can have a conversation, get the I-140 approved. As long as it's not revoked or withdrawn by this employer for 180 days, the new rule should be able to help you. But if the new rule were not to come out and the employer just holds it open till you can get your other I-140 approved with employer B, the permanent offer, then that would be useful also.
Okay, so same question but in a different way actually, because I got the answer, but I just want to have one more question, clarity on that.
Surely,
so if I'm working for a company working for employer A, and my 140 is filed today, and I joined employer B today, and my paycheck is when I joined employer B today, so I have next paycheck in next 2 weeks or so, but my I-140 is not approved yet. So can I talk to my...
Yeah, so the I-140 approval is not based on, so it's an intent to employ you on a permanent basis, but pay stubs and all are not the qualifying criteria. Now, pay stubs are required when you're trying to qualify employer A for financial ability purposes, but it is not the qualifying criteria by which you have to submit your I-140, meaning that you could be with one employer and another employer may be prospectively filing for you, or you may be with this employer that you've been with and you're moving on to another employer. The pay stubs will not be important except to make sure that based on your W-2 from the past year and the pay stub so far, the employer A, the one that has that labor approved, is able to get the I-140 approved on financial ability prongs.
Okay, so it doesn't matter if I have two H1s at the same time, activated at the same time. So I can still go ahead with my previous employer and get my I-140 process started and start with the employer B anytime, right?
Correct, you can.
Okay, excellent.
Right.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate your time.
Okay, all the best to you.
Thank you for your call. Going to our next caller, 972-235-5555, number in the studio. Going to our next caller, Phanisha Radio. You're live on the air. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Hi Pallavi, I have a question related to my green card. So I'm going to complete 6 years on my H1 next month, and I am going to India. But my employer is trying to file a green card for me. So my question is, if I complete all of my 6 years on H1 and my green card is filed, so can I come back on the same H1?
Yeah, so the only way you'll be able to return back on the same H1 is based on the AC 21104C option, which means that you have to get this employer to get your perm as well as your I-140 approved. Once the I-140 is approved, they will have to file for an H-1B that extends your H-1B by 3 years. It'll be done if you're in India through consular processing. You'll have to go stamping and re-enter the country. But yes, so to answer your question, if the fact that you get your I-140 approved, you don't have to wait a year and come back in the new quota. The answer to that is yes, you don't have to come back in the new quota. You can still use this 6-year max out plus the 3 more years from the I-140 approval when you come back in.
Okay. Thank you, Pallavi.
Okay, all the best.
This is Your Business Matters with Pallavi Ahluwalia from Ahluwalia Law Offices. To get in touch with her beyond the show, do call the front desk manager at 972-361-0606. Going to our next caller, Phanisha Radio, you're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Hello, Pallavi madam.
Yes, hi, how are you? How may I help?
हाँ मैडम, गुड मॉर्निंग. अच्छा, मैं क्या हिंदी में बात करूँ क्या?
Please बात करिए.
अच्छा मैडम, मैं 70 ईयर्स ओल्ड हूँ और मैं 1 नवंबर 2010 में ग्रीन कार्ड हुआ हूँ.
ओके.
यानी 5 साल और 7 महीना हो गया है. अच्छा, लास्ट 5 ईयर्स में मैं 400 डेज अप्रोक्स में यूएस से बाहर रहा हूँ, मगर कभी भी 5 साल और 5.5 महीने से यानी 170 डेज से ज्यादा नहीं रुका हूँ. तो मैं क्या एलिजिबल हूँ? मैं अप्लाई कर सकता हूँ सिटीजन के लिए?
हाँ जी, तो अगर आप अपने सारे मंथ्स काउंट करें, अगर आपके पास यहाँ पे 2.5 years से ज्यादा टाइम है विद इन द यूएस, राइट, 30 महीने से ऊपर है आपके पास टाइम, तो आप एलिजिबल हो सकते हैं. और आप मुझे अपनी कंडीशंस अपने आप बता रहे हैं कि आपने 5.5 महीने से ज्यादा नहीं रहे हैं आप बाहर, राइट? आप हमेशा 180 डेज के अंडर बाहर रहे हैं, राइट? तो उससे लग रहा है, जो आप मुझे बता रहे हैं उससे ये पता लग रहा है कि शायद आप एलिजिबल हैं. खाली डेज काउंट करके पूरे रखने पड़ेंगे कि आपके पास पिछले 5 सालों में यहाँ पे फिजिकल प्रेजेंस और कंटिन्यूअस रेजिडेंस दोनों हैं, और अगर है तो आप एलिजिबल हैं.
फिजिकल कितना चाहिए? 3 ईयर?
नहीं, 2.5. नो, इट्स नॉट कंटिन्यूअस. कंटिन्यूटी, हाँ जी, 30 मंथ्स
होना चाहिए 5 साल में.
हाँ जी, और कोई स्टे आउट ऑफ 180 डेज के ऊपर कोई स्टे नहीं होना चाहिए बाहर. एज लॉन्ग एज ये कंडीशंस मेट है तो आप एलिजिबल हैं.
ओके, थैंक यू मैडम.
ओके,
थैंक यू वेरी मच.
थैंक यू, बाय बाय.
Thank you for your call. Going to our next caller, Phanisha Radio, you're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Yes, I have a question regarding category F4. I was checking on Visa Bulletin and it was showing me January 1st, 2001. Do you have any idea why they went back? Because it was before July 2003.
Right. So, and that's a very, very good question. A lot of people do ask that. So what happens is that for the family-based fourth category, you're talking about a sibling category, right? Or for any family-based categories, there are a certain number of visas that are allowed for the entire year, right? So, and the number of visas for 1 year that are allowed is 65,000. Now, these are split between different countries, and there's 7% that is allowed to every country. Okay, so at some point, if in 1 year there are more applications than the regular amount that they expect, so say for example they're expecting 500,000 applications every year, and that gives them the predicted date that you can see here, which is about 10 years back. Now, at a certain year, if those number of applications gets to be maybe 800,000 that they receive, now the dates will get impacted and the visa bulletin will roll back, which means now their predicted dates have changed again, because that's based on the number of cases that they have received for that particular category. So you understand how it goes? So they have to allocate and make predictions based on what is the usage of that category.
Oh, okay.
All right?
All right.
Okay, thank you.
All the best.
Thank you so much for your call. Going to our next caller, Phanisha Radio, you are live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Hi, Pallavi, my name is Ritu and I am a permanent resident.
Okay.
And the question that I have is that are we supposed to carry the green card around with us all the time, or what is the rule?
Yes, the law does say that you have to have your green card on your person. It does say that. I know a lot of people put it in the locker and put it in different place. They're fearful of losing it. But yes, that is a requirement of the law, is to have it on your person.
Oh, okay. So basically, like last weekend, what happened is we were visiting South Padre Islands, and then when I was coming back, there was an immigration checkpoint.
Okay.
So they pulled me over and they asked me, and I didn't have the green card with me, so they checked the system using my DL, and then they said that we are putting a note on it that you're not carrying the green card, and if next time you get pulled over and asked, then you'll have a fine. So is that appropriate for them to do that?
Yes, it is. It is. So fine. It's unusual for me to hear about a fine being imposed, but there is a requirement that says that you have to carry your proof of your residency with you, or your proof of visa with you. So if you're a green card holder, it should be like the driver's license, it should be with you.
So, I'm sorry, you're saying that the actual card we are supposed to carry, right?
Correct. You're supposed to carry that. That's
so then basically whatever they did, right, like they might have put a note, I don't know in what system, but they pulled through my name and everything using my DL. So then they said that next time whenever, like if I get pulled over and I'm not having it or whatever, then I will be subject to a fine. So that's like legal for them to do that?
Yeah, so the fine, so this must be the CBP. This is the Custom and Border Patrol, and they do have that option to require you to carry the green card, because that's what the law states, that you have to carry it on your person. Most people don't. They want to keep it safe. But and the point is that if it ever were to get lost and you were to lodge a police report, you can, of course, it's very inconvenient, but you do have an option to get a new one, which is by filing an application I-90. So this is to remove everybody's concern what happens if it gets lost. You do have an option to get that back again from the government.
Okay.
But at this point, I think I would caution you to just have it with you on your person.
Yeah, so I should just be careful and carry it from now onwards so that I can, I don't get like...
And that is a very, very good question, because I think a lot of the community members or people that are green card holders don't carry their green card. They just...
Right. And I was the first thing that came to my mind that I've never heard that we are supposed to be carrying the green card unless we're traveling out of the country or we're planning to go across the border, but this was not even going across the border, but I think we just happened to have a checkpoint there.
No, it should be on your person. It should be.
Okay. All right, got it. Thank you, Pallavi. Appreciate it.
Okay, Ritu, all the best.
Thank you for your question. Going to our next caller, and the question has to be really quick. We have very little time left on the clock. So you're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question very quickly. Very quickly, you have to ask your question, sir. All right, I think they are busy with their family affairs, so we'll let them enjoy and move on to our next caller, Fanisha Radio. You're live on the air. You have just a few minutes here. Please ask your question really quick.
Hi, Ms. Pallavi. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you? How may I help?
I'm all right. Ma'am, I have received my data about 4 years ago, and I just got married last year. And my wife is about to file her citizenship. Is there a possible way that I can file a green card under her name since I have a legal entry?
Yeah, so she is eligible to apply for you, but you will have to get a waiver of your unlawful presence in the country. So there is a stateside waiver that is allowed, which is a provisional waiver, which means for you to be able to get your green card eventually. So the first step would be an I-140 filing. The second step would be to start off the consular processing. But after you have the consular processing number with the NVC, then you apply for the waiver in the country, and that is based on extreme hardship to your U.S. citizen spouse. And upon its approval, you proceed to the consulate abroad for your visa stamping, which is your permanent visa.
All right, thank you. Go ahead quickly.
Quickly. Let's quickly answer.
10 seconds. Go ahead.
So what is the chances that I can get the waiver accepted?
Yeah, so that depend on your personal circumstances, and if it is that you qualify, if there's a medical, financial hardship, emotional hardship, and it can be documented through the medical documents, then that would have a decent chance of getting approved. There is a memo out there, this is for everyone, there is a memo out there that talks about the fact that the government has to look at a relaxed standard when they're reviewing the waiver cases, which has not happened so far, but I think that is the admonition to the government, and if it is that's how it happens, then you have a higher chance of getting that approved.
All right, thank you so much, Pallavi. We are running out of time, but always a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Sure, thank you so much for hosting me well, and I'll return next Wednesday.
Thank you.